We're thrilled to have all three of you here. All three of you guys played Division I college hockey. You recently signed with the Kings. We kind of want to dive in here and get to know you guys a little bit before next season and the next training camp comes around. I'll start with you, Alex. You're a forward from Island Lake, Illinois. You signed with the Kings on March 11th. One season at the University of Wisconsin under Tony Granato, the head coach there. Drafted 5th overall last summer. First of all, welcome to the Kings. I know it's been a strange time for everyone, but if you could describe for me kind of the emotions and the craziness. You signed the day that everything stopped pretty much, right?
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. I mean, I remember I was on the plane to LA and I had the Wi-Fi on my phone and I was on Twitter and they canceled the NBA season and I kind of had a bad feeling about with what the direction the NHL was going to go with in the AHL, obviously. So it was a pretty weird first day, I guess. And then the next day I went to the rink and I kind of met some of the guys, but at that point everyone was cleared out and they were taking protocol and stuff and being safe. So it was really weird and but it's something I'm going to remember for forever for sure. So
we hope you get a little bit more normal welcome when things get back to regular hockey, I guess. Next up, we've got Cole Hults, defenseman from Madison, Wisconsin, signed with the Kings on April 12th after 3 seasons at Penn State University. Taken in the 5th round, 134th overall by the Kings in 2017. Cole and the Nittany Lions were the Big Ten regular season champions this year, played against Alex quite a bit in the Big Ten. You are technically the newest King, Cole, having signed just a few weeks ago. What was that feeling like to sign your first professional contract?
Yeah, it was obviously a great feeling. A little sad, torn, having to leave school. All my best buddies there, but felt like it was the right time to leave school. And I couldn't be more happy to be a part of the LA Kings now.
A hell of a program at Penn State and the top 10 team this year, and certainly the way things ended, a little bittersweet up there. But we're excited to have you aboard with the LA Kings for sure. And finally, Tyler Madden from Deerfield Beach, Florida, signed with the Kings on March 30th. 2 seasons at Northeastern University in Boston, Hockey East champion, 2-time Beanpot champion under head coach Jim Madigan. Tyler was originally drafted by the Vancouver Canucks in the 3rd round in 2018 and acquired by the Kings in a trade for Tyler Toffoli earlier this season. Tyler Madden, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us, and welcome to the LA Kings.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Obviously, it's been a weird time so far, but, this breaks up the weird days, and, I'm glad to be here. So,
you spent the last 2 years as a prospect for a different organization in Vancouver, and now you're here with the Kings. What was that like to find out your rights were traded, and how did you find out? Where were you? What were you doing at the time?
Yeah, it was weird. I was actually in my dorm room playing Xbox, and one of my Chris Hagan with Vancouver and asked me if I heard and didn't really know what he was talking about or anything. And then obviously he told me and started breaking a little bit. And I had a couple calls from Rob Blake and everybody from the LA Kings side. But yeah, it was definitely weird. Kind of surprised me a little bit, but I was excited for the most part to join such a great organization.
And obviously you're in the fold now, having signed back on March 30th. I'll leave it kind of go around the horn here quickly for the three of you before I get into some of the questions from local and national media. And we have a lot to get to there. But have the three of you kind of been put in any group texts yet or in communication with any current players or current prospects? And I'll start with you, Alex.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. Today we actually had a big group call with Rob Blake. All 8 of us that just signed, I guess, this year are going to be first-year pros. So kind of just had a pretty good FaceTime chat with him and just went over some things and just yeah, it was pretty cool and to see everyone that's going to be a pro next year all in the same chat. So
Cole?
Yeah, basically just what Alex just said. We had that group meeting, a couple hours ago, so it's kind of great to put some names and faces together. Yeah, no, it's cool. I know there's kind of 8 guys new to the pro game, so it's nice to know you're not alone and that we're gonna have that big young group going in next year. So
Yeah, Tyler, I know after getting traded, you're kind of in this whirlwind. Did you get any sort of introduction then, or even now, to some of the other guys in the organization and some of the other players? Did we lose yet?
He looks frozen.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
frozen
Looked
with a
like he
really
was on
sad
his phone
face.
for a little bit. Yeah.
All right, so why don't we'll see if we can get Tyler restarted here. But so I'll dive in and kind of get to some of the questions that were submitted to us while we see if we can get Tyler's screen unfrozen. So Alex, I know fans have kind of gotten to know you a little bit.
Yeah, I
Oh, he's
mean
back.
they hit it back. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
There
All right,
we go.
perfect. You're back. I'll get back to you in a second,
Yeah.
Tyler. I know for Alex, you would I think it was the development camp. You and Toby Bjornfoot got to know one another, and I
Yeah.
know you had a Kings connection with Tony Granato. But what was that like? Kind of your first introduction?
Yeah, dev camp was awesome. I mean, that's when you get to meet all the new guys and, I mean, all the guys that are going through the same process as you. That's where I met Cole and a bunch of other people, and you meet the development staff too, and you get to go on the ice with them and learn. And I think that was a lot of fun. And then with Toby, I mean, I played against him all for like those 2 years there in the international tournaments. He was always on Sweden, so I mean, I don't know. We got drafted together, and so I kind of met him at the draft, and then I took him to Chipotle right when we got to LA. And I know a lot of people are like giving it to me because there's probably better Mexican food down there. But I mean, I'm from the Midwest, so that's all we got here. So and he loved it, so there's no complaints. But
We'll get you introduced to Tito's Tacos before long.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Cole, I know descriptions came in that you were described as a low maintenance player at Penn State. Where did you get that reputation from, and how do you think part of that nature will help you in the professional game now that you're on from college?
Yeah, I think, over the last few years, my game's only gotten better at what I do well. So I think going into school, I just, always had this simple mindset and, wanted to get the puck to the forwards. My brother always told me when I was younger, if, I can make a great first pass on Bobby Orr to him. So that's kind of been my motto through the last, since, I was 16 when he told me that. So just kind of accumulated over the years. And, I like to play a simple game. I want to get pucks to, guys like Madden and Turcotte. And, it's just kind of, it's worked out well. And, I like to compare my game to Ryan Suter. He's a low maintenance guy. Obviously super effective and what he does, but, not too flashy, won't stand out. But, he does really good at what he does. So.
Do you watch video to try to take after a particular player and take almost lessons from watching video of pros that you try to apply in your game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously being from Madison, grew up, around the Sooners, so watched a lot of, the Wild, when Ryan was in Nashville. But watch a lot of his game and what he does. He's probably, I look at him as a mentor to me. So I think, I watch him more than anybody else and learn from him.
Well, Tyler, I think we need to get this out of the way first, that we are from the same alma mater, so that helps. Your season was kind of interesting. You just won the Beanpot in February, and for those less familiar, big tournament in Boston with the 4 college programs there. After that, you get hurt, and then you get traded, and then the season is over. I mean, the whirlwind going into this summer. How do you take stock from what just happened over the last couple of months?
Yeah, it was a crazy couple of months for sure. I mean, we ended up winning the Beanpot, which was also a crazy game. Went double OT, and obviously we were all gassed, and we finally win that game. And then the next game after that, I ended up breaking my finger and was out from what would have been 4 to 6 weeks. And then I get to that point where I'm almost ready to play, and the season's done. So that was definitely weird from that standpoint. And then also getting traded right in the middle of it. So it was definitely a weird couple of months, but nothing I can do about it. And just happy that my last season with Northeastern, we got to win a championship. So.
And Cole and Alex, I know in the Big Ten, you guys were kind of gearing up for the Big Ten tournament as well. Cole, you're top 10. You guys sight set on NCAA tournament, and kind of ends prematurely. Has it sunk in yet, the kind of long-term view of what you guys were able to accomplish as a program, or does it still sting a bit? How the season ended.
Yeah, no, it definitely stings. Coming in my freshman year, the year before that, they won the Big Ten tournament. So I mean, it was nice to get the regular season win, but ultimately, you want to win, those tournament championships. We weren't the only ones that were let down. So I guess that kind of helps a little bit. But we got the end on the regular season champions, which was nice. And at our ending meeting, we were told we were going to get a ring. So I think that kind of helped a little bit. Bittersweet still, but that definitely helped.
Well, two of you guys on this call are also second generation professional hockey players. Alex and Tyler, your fathers both played in the National Hockey League, and Alex specifically, we'll start with you. Your dad was in the league. What was it like growing up in a professional household? A guy who's been there, done that, and can give you advice each step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. He was a huge help to me. Like you said, he's been through it, and he taught me a lot about the game and just how to conduct myself in public as a person. And I mean, that's really invaluable stuff. So it was great, and it was a lot of fun. Obviously, he's probably harder on me, more harder on me than some other parents were, but I think it was definitely worth it in the long run. And just to get that knowledge from him was awesome. So.
Tyler, kind of a similar story with you. Your dad played in the league, Stanley Cup champion. You're choosing to turn pro after a couple of years in college, and I know your dad, placed a big emphasis on the education side of it. What's that process like when you want that education? You chose to play college hockey for a reason, and now you're turning pro. And how much has your dad been able to advise you on kind of what to do?
Yeah, I think Turk hit it right on the head, saying all that stuff about how much help he's been throughout my career and all that. So obviously when, it came time to make that decision of whether to stay in school or turn pro, we obviously had a lot of long talks, and it wasn't just like an easy decision to make. And at the end of it, we just thought it was what was best. And obviously I love Northeastern, love the coaches and love the guys, but it was just that kind of thing that I had to do for my hockey career.
Speaking of college, Alex and Cole, you played against each other a couple times this season. Anything you remember from those matchups? And is there anything you guys have done kind of after understanding you're both part of the same organization now, and maybe being in touch leading into this coming season?
I mean, obviously we play each other a lot, and they whooped us more times than we did to them. So it was pretty tough games. They're obviously they're the best team in the Big Ten. So just playing against them, it was challenging, but it was a lot of fun too. They were a really offensive team. They were running and gunning, and I guess we were kind of the same way. So I wouldn't say there was much defense being played, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, just playing in the Big Ten, it was definitely an eye opener for me, and it was a lot of fun, but it was also really challenging just because all the teams that are in there, everyone's pretty good, and any given night you don't know who's going to win. So.
Yeah, no, it was great. Wisconsin and Penn State have always kind of had that rivalry too, because I know, I said how they won the tournament the year before I came in, so they've always kind of had that rivalry. It was, I'm from Madison too, so it's always kind of cool coming back and playing those guys, and obviously getting the best of them is obviously pretty cool. So,
how much chirping is going to happen between you two, either at Bev camp or in training camp between the college programs?
It's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, he is all the rain to chirp me. I can't really say much in return, so I'll just take it. But yeah, I don't know. We'll definitely have some fun with it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, kind of pivoting a little bit from college to now you're in the pros. Now you're starting your careers from scratch once again, and the Kings last couple of years have been building up their prospect pool. They've been trading to get draft picks, and it's going to be a competitive training camp. I'll ask this to Tyler, but you guys can chime in as well. I mean, it's going to be a lot of competition this fall in training camp. I mean, has it kind of hit you that you're going to be competing big time for jobs in this training camp, and how many guys you're going to have to work up against?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a good thing though at the same time, because you're going to be surrounded by great players and make you better. So that's one thing. But for sure, I mean, everybody's going to come in ready to play, and everybody wants a spot on the big team, and it's just going to be one of those things for whoever wants it more at that time. And obviously, everybody's got the skill, and a lot of young players, but it's exciting for sure. I think is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I think adding on to that, like we're all going to be competing against each other, but that will make us all better players, and in the long run, at least, it will make us a lot better. And then that's how we can build friendships and become buddies. And I think all of it's going to be great. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of competition, but we're going to be friends too, and it'll only make us better. So,
Cole, specific to you, I wonder, from guys who have grown up watching Stanley Cup championships from a variety of different teams, and now you're going into a training camp where some of these guys that won these titles are now peers, and I'm wondering, kind of what goes through your head when, okay, these are now my colleagues. I'm on par with some of these guys as I'm competing for a job. What does that mean to be able to walk into a locker room that's won a couple Stanley Cups?
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool. I remember, watching those cup games way back then. It's definitely humbling. Didn't think I'd be here a couple of years back. It's just kind of crazy looking back at, how it happened and how everything went down, coming from juniors and, going to college and how everything worked out. So, I mean, it's definitely cool to, it's just a surreal feeling.
While it's going to be a transition for Southern California, our weather has been a little bit nicer than it was back east during the winter. I know, Alex, you have a little bit of a connection with Southern California. Your uncle was a junior king coach, and you spent summers out here before. What's your comfort level with coming to Southern California and now kind of making it a year-round home?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm really happy that I get to live in that weather, and being from the Chicago area and living in Madison was so cold. It was ridiculous. So I'm just happy to get out of there. But no, I mean, it's going to be great. I have my uncle there and my cousins. And I mean, when I was a kid, I used to go out there for some summers. And then obviously my agency's out of there too. So we had some agency camps. And I mean, I just love it out there. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot to do there, and the weather's great. So it's a really good setup.
Have you guys, I'll ask it to the group, done any kind of background on looking even at places to live? I know it's kind of a weird situation right now because we're all stuck at home, but is it starting to sink in? All right, I got to look at apartments. I got to figure out what my car situation is going to be like. Have you guys started that?
Yeah, I think, my lease is up next month, so I got to look at a car actually. So I just started looking at one this week. But I think just for fun, I've kind of looked at places down there in Southern California. So, I mean, just for fun, just kind of seeing what it's like down there, what's, the costs and everything in the area. And my brother has kind of been helping me out. He was in San Diego for a bit, so he's kind of just helping me and what to look for and just kind of saving stuff. So,
yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was a car, because I actually don't have one right now. And I was like, well, I guess I got to find a car now. So been definitely looking at that and some of the options I have. And, my dad's been in my ear, don't get this, don't get that. So it's been a fun conversation at the Madden household for a while now. And, like Cole said, just kind of looking at places for fun at this point, just seeing what's out there, what it's like, because I've actually never been to California. So I don't know what the situation with all that is out there. So it was just kind of something to do, especially now when you got nothing else to do, and keep your mind off things. So
exactly. What else has he been putting in your ear over the last couple of weeks?
I mean, I like my dad a lot, but being in the same household with him for a long time is
dude, brutal.
So, yeah, it's getting to us. So a lot of competitions and stuff between us just to pass the time, and whatever we can do to stay busy.
I get the sense it's similar for you, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love my parents, but sometimes it's just like Oh my God. Like they're not like, cause obviously no one can work. So, they're not working and I'm home all day and I'm usually not used to being home all day. And it's just, it's kind of funny though. I think I'm going to look back at it and just be really happy that I got to spend some time with them. But, yeah.
Have you guys picked up any hobbies or tried to do anything just to pass the time? I mean, video games has been one that I've heard kicked around, but anything else? I guess some of you guys, I don't know how the semester structures work with the different schools, but I'm sure you had to finish the semester online, right?
For me, I didn't. I had to drop everything. So
All right.
I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing, but I was pretty happy. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I know a lot of my buddies at school are they're kind of we're all in these group chats and it's just kind of funny to see like what they're talking about and how annoying it is and all that stuff. But as far as like hobbies, like I play some video games sometimes. I've been listening to Spit and Chicklets like nonstop, like old episodes, like going for walks or whatever, just trying to stay active. So but I really like listening to that podcast. I think it's like the funniest thing ever. So just been doing that and Netflix, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm a junior, so finishing school, obviously, only 1 year left. So I'll probably take some classes in the summer as well and probably just keep chipping away at it just because I'm pretty close here now. I'm a big gamer, actually. I play a lot of video games. Kind of just kills a lot of time, our whole team. It's kind of a good way for us to kind of catch up and, shoot the shop online and, stay in touch with each other too. So.
What's your favorite?
Oh, Call of Duty is the big thing right now. So we usually get together every other night and play that.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with him. Call of Duty, definitely to pass the time is a big hobby of mine. And especially, like you said, like just to be able to play with, guys that I went to school with and last year. So it's nice to keep in touch with them. And then hobby-wise, been taking dogs for a lot of walks. And also we've been a big puzzle family, but I guess you can't get any more puzzles anywhere. They're all sold out. So we did a couple of those and, couple TV shows we've been watching and stuff. So
all I know is that my wife has been kicking the crap out of me in Scrabble for the last 2 weeks. So I'm probably going to lay off that for a little while. Kind of to, work question here. You guys got to be in shape. And, development camp will happen, I'm assuming, at some point. And even if it doesn't, there will be a training camp after that. You guys got to be ready to go. I'll start with you, Cole. Like, what are you guys doing to stay in shape when you can't skate?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough. I stayed earlier. I'm pretty close with the Suitors, and they got a weight room there. So just me and one other buddy have been going there. 5 days a week. I've been working out there. So it's been nice to get out of the house and kind of stay busy. So that's been really beneficial. I haven't really skated too much. Probably going to start that here in the next couple of weeks, but it's been nice being able to stay active and actually have a gym. So,
have any of you guys invested in like rollerblades or something like that to just at least get out there a little bit?
Yeah, I got some Bauer rollerblades, so they're pretty nice, and just going in my driveway. I have a net and all that stuff, so I usually just go out there, roam around, and kind of rip pucks. And I mean, it's the closest thing I can do to, I guess, playing hockey. There's no rinks open here, so hopefully when those open up, obviously I'll be skating, but it's kind of the best I got right now. So
yeah, I think I've just been working out at home. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of weights and stuff here, unfortunately, but just got some. So just been doing, little things to keep active and in shape. Doing some workouts with my mom. She used to be a gymnast, so she's got some pretty tough ones that she makes me do. And, my dad is always in my ear. So that, and then I'm trying to get my hands on a pair of rollerblades right now. But,
it's
those,
hard, I heard.
Yeah, it's very hard.
So especially fun, though.
Yeah, I got to get a pair of those, and it's the closest, like you said, closest thing to skating. That's the big thing too, is that you can use those same muscles and stuff when you're rollerblading. So, gotta get a pair of those.
All right, here's one question for all three of you. What is the first thing you're going to look forward to most when this is over? Doesn't have to be hockey.
I would say for me, like obviously skating, but with what comes with that is hanging out with like your buddies. I mean, uh, usually the guys you're skating with or working out with, you're usually buddies with. So, just hanging out with them and kind of socializing again and doing stuff like that. But as far as like anything else goes, I for sure miss skating. So.
Yeah, I think the summer skates are always kind of fun because you get that that group of guys that you always skate with in the summer, and they all come back, and just being in the locker room and the locker room talk's always kind of fun. And we got a diverse group here in Madison that we have, and it's always fun to get together in the beginning of the summer and kind of just that's kind of what I'm missing the most.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely skating because since my injury, I haven't skated, so it's been a little bit longer for me than others. So that's been the big thing, especially when I was injured. I was just biting at the bit to get back on the ice, and that's definitely the big thing. And obviously, in the summer, like you guys said, I go down to the Cape Cod and work with Paul Vincent, and just getting back down there would be nice, and seeing some of my buddies that I usually hang out with in the summer, the usual suspects. So.
I can only imagine what the scramble for ice is going to be like when everything gets back to normal just a little bit. But wishing you guys all the best. Stay safe. Stay sane, especially in the hockey households where your dads are in your ear the whole time. But you really appreciate you guys hopping on here and taking the time to answer a couple of questions and for us to get to know you guys as well. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
One other thing, just want to thank everybody for checking in and watching here. All the questions that we got from local and national media. Wishing you guys all the best. We'll see you down at Toyota Sports Performance Center shortly as well. And one other thing to keep in mind here, especially for fans looking to chip in and help out, want you to check out this Teams for LA initiative. The Kings, the Lakers, the Clippers, Sparks, Galaxy, all pulled together through the Team LA store. We're selling merchandise with the proceeds benefiting the Mayor's Fund, which is going not only towards cash help for those who need it, but also the front lines providing some medical supplies. So hope you guys are able to check that out as well. But in the meantime, stay safe, and we hope to see you at a rink soon.